Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another Skills Series edition. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Celine. Good to see you.
You too, you too. So excited that you could join me. So yeah, everyone, as you can see, I've got Sarah with me today. I've known Sarah for quite a long time now. Have seen all lots of different wonderful work that you've done, Sarah, in different organisations, and delighted that you joined me because I think you and the team are doing some brilliant work right now. Sarah, do you just want to say hello and introduce yourself to everyone listening and watching?
Yes, hi everyone. My name's Sarah Totham. I'm head of talent at Laing O'Rourke.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so as I said, known you for a while, known you for quite a few years now.
Can't say how many. Yes.
And as I say, I'm really pleased that you're able to join me. So I think over all the time that I've known you, but especially now at Laing O'Rourke, you're doing some really thoughtful and actually quite grand scale and quite progressive thinking, I think, and work, specifically around skills, which is what this series is about. So that's probably a good place to start, actually. Why don't you describe for everybody a bit more around the amazing work that you're doing and the thinking that you're doing around skills. Um, and I guess why is skills probably the best place to start is why is skills on the agenda for Laing O'Rourke? Why is it there? And what are you hoping that this focus on skills will achieve?
Certainly. So we have been doing a lot of work from a career development perspective,
Hmm.
rethinking what that looks like. We've introduced the concept of squiggly careers. We've been working with Helen Tupper to introduce quite a different mindset in terms of careers, growth, opportunities, and that's landed really well within a business which is a really dynamic business, a project-based business.
Yeah.
So naturally, a lot of movement, and people are keen to ensure that they are aware of the opportunities ahead.
Hmm.
And we are in a fantastic place as a business that we have a huge amount of opportunity ahead in terms of our pipeline. And really, the thing that will constrain us going forward is a shortage of talent and a
Hmm.
shortage of skills.
Hmm.
So we have drivers in terms of individuals and the agency that they are seeking in
Hmm.
terms of opportunities and choice.
Hmm.
But also, and from a business perspective, we are very, very clear that we are going to be looking for more people, for more diverse talent, for broader talent pools.
Hmm.
And we are going to be looking to upskill and reskill people with agility.
Hmm.
And so we see the skills powered approach as being a real opportunity to address all of those challenges.
Amazing. Yeah, and I've loved when we've spoken before around this sense of agile mobility and really leveraging the skills and the potential of everyone and looking beyond what they've done so far or the project or the role that they're in at the moment.
Absolutely. I think that opportunity to start seeing people as individuals and a unique set of skills as opposed to labeling people with their current job role and current job description is
Yeah.
something that is a fantastic opportunity. It's really attractive in terms of individuals, but it's also really important to us as a business. We're really conscious that we have a lot of hidden talent across our organization, as many organizations do, and
Mm.
we struggle to identify who we have and what we have. And often it's easier to identify individuals outside of the organization
Mm.
through LinkedIn than it is internally within our organization. We just don't currently have the sort of talent data that
Yeah.
we want to be able to access to
Yeah.
match people with opportunities and ensure that we're addressing business needs with agility, but also offering internal people the sort of career development opportunities that we want to.
Yeah. That's an interesting phenomenon, isn't it? I've seen that so many times over the years that when colleagues, existing colleagues are almost burdened by the reputation that they've got or the scrutiny that you've been able to give them. I think what I love about what you just described, and you do this really articulately, consistently, is the business, the commercial opportunity that comes from becoming skills based. And I think with this whole kind of movement, it's easy to see it as a kind of nice to have, like unlocking potential. Who's not agreeing with unlocking potential? But it's more than that. It's actually a source of competitive advantage, isn't it, if you can get it right?
It absolutely is, and we are facing a very severe skills shortage across our sector, particularly.
Yeah.
So we have a real driver there in
Mhm.
terms of attracting more people to our sector from other sectors,
Mhm.
as well as attracting early talent and ensuring that people see this as this sector and our business particularly as a real opportunity from a career perspective.
Okay, so I guess the landscape for looking at skills feels quite clear. How easy or hard was it to work out where to start?
I think it was relatively easy to know where to start. I think we just started. I think
Get the lesson in there. Just get cracking.
I think we were all just quite excited within my team that this was a huge opportunity, and we started motoring pretty quickly. And I think the challenge has been ensuring that we step back and look around um, and make the right decisions and don't feel that we've got to do it all ourselves and do it on
Mm-hmm,
our own.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think we sort of cracked on, started work looking at our taxonomy. We had a lot of resources already internally. We had career toolkits. We had a lot of enthusiastic advocates across the business who were keen to be part of this.
Mm-hmm.
We are very lucky that we have a business full of people who are very passionate about supporting the development of others. So we're never short of volunteers. And we're also quite a let's get stuck in and get things done sort of business. So we did start moving pretty quickly. And I think what we've started to realize is that it it isn't just a new talent process. It's not just a new approach that can be owned by the talent team.
Yes. Yeah.
This is genuinely an opportunity for it's a strategic enabler.
Lovely. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think that we're having to slow ourselves down to ensure that we're having the right conversations and the
Mm-hmm.
right thinking,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that we don't just see this as a talent project to
Mm.
achieve and with a roadmap and deliverables and red, amber, green, let's go,
Yeah.
which is quite tempting.
Yes.
Um, Equally, we're trying not to get too overawed by the fact that this is potentially transformational,
Mm.
and that there are a lot of dilemmas that we're facing,
Mm.
but there are also things that we can start to test out,
Mm.
and keep moving. So I think it's balancing those two things is really
Yeah.
important.
I think that's a huge, huge tip for everyone listening. I think that's a lovely lesson there. And that's what I'm seeing lots of people navigate at the moment, like walk that tightrope between going slowly enough that you're thoughtful enough to recognize the scale of it, but also quickly enough that you're not, falling into a paralysis or an inertia. So I think that's a really, really key point. I'm so pleased that you shared that.
And
Um,
I should just say, Celine, that
yeah,
you have been one of those people who have helped us
good.
to do that pause and that stepping back and that thinking and that looking outwards. So thank you for that. You've been a really important coach along the way so far.
Pleasure.
And we are also connected in to externally to really important networks. And I think
Yeah. Yeah.
we are finding that everybody's been very generous in
Mm.
terms of sharing their learning, sharing what they're doing. I haven't met anyone yet who said, "Yeah, we've cracked it. We know what we're doing." But there's a lot of people doing a lot of great work and a lot
Yeah.
of great thinking.
Yeah.
Um, People are very generous
Yeah.
about sharing that.
Yeah.
So, cross sector, um, globally, there's all sorts of people doing some great work. And I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
that connecting in and supporting each other is really important on
And
this.
that was one of the drivers for doing this series, actually, because this is what I've been seeing that I'd say it feels different to anything that we've had in recent years in our world, in our industry, where everyone's trying to kind of work it out a little bit. And it's lovely to see people coming together. And I know that the best way to learn is to meet with peers and to hear from peers. So pleasure and pleasure to have helped you. And I think the reason I feel so passionate about the, pausing and thinking is I think it is such an interconnected topic. And I get the most worried personally when I don't see that interconnectedness happening, and I think that's so, so key, like everyone getting around the table. I was on another call yesterday. And about a completely different topic, but again, this need for the whole people team to come around one table came up again. So it seems a real theme for us at the moment. So at the back end before what you were saying, you did reference some of the things that you're trying. Perhaps you could just briefly describe some of those things for the audience so they can get a sense of some of the tangible pieces of work that you've done.
Yeah, sure. So we have been building our own taxonomy.
Mhm.
So I've got a fantastic colleague, Patricia Mering, who's leading on that work,
Yeah.
and she is working with a number of our different functions. So we've identified a few of the pilot functions who have pretty much self-nominated to say, yes, please, we'd love to get involved in this work. We did already have some career toolkits, as I referenced earlier. So some of it has been taking some of those, translating some of those, starting to think in terms of not just what we need now, but what we need going forward.
Mhm.
And really distilling those into those sort of Lego building blocks, as you
Mhm.
helped us to call them. And then we are just moving into piloting that approach. We're using success factors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so so Rob Claridge in my team has been doing some fantastic work on the system side of things and that user experience perspective. And we're just starting to get into that test and learn
Yes.
piece.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
so it's starting to become a bit more of a reality and moving away from the dreaded PowerPoint slides to being something that's actually living and breathing.
And maybe if you can talk a little bit more about that tech piece, because again, that's something that I'm seeing across multiple organizations is if you're not careful, that tension between the technology and what the technology is there and able to do, and actually the goal that you're striving towards. If you could maybe talk through how you've thought about that, how you've navigated it, and how you're hoping that they will work in tandem eventually.
Yes, I think it is a big challenge, and I think more and more there's more out there in the market
Yeah.
in terms of different options and different opportunities.
Mm.
I think that there's been a big focus in terms of the matching in terms of individuals and skill sets and opportunities, whether that's roles or gigs or learning.
Mm.
But actually, more and more, there's focus on that inference. So using generative AI to identify or propose skills that people will have on the basis of CVs or
Yeah.
qualifications or experience, etc. So I think there's lots to consider there, and I think that's one of the things that we are aware of. That when we started this work, the talent marketplace was sort of the focus in terms of the deliverable.
Mm.
And there's now much more sophisticated
Mhm.
options and opportunities available out there, which is one of the reasons that we are saying let's make sure that we are keeping our eyes open and ensuring that we're considering other options.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we are, as I said, just and mindful that that the system is not the be all and end all, but at the moment we're using it to test it out, and yeah, very open-minded that it may not be the answer or the absolute
Yeah.
solution, but it gives us a vehicle against which we can test to see whether this is going to land as a concept, really.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, amazing. Thank you, Sarah. And so finally then, just any final tips or hints? I think what's fascinating is you're living and breathing, the remit that lots of people are at the moment, that you've got the backing to become skills based from the exec. It's definitely a high agenda item. There's appetite for it, but it's big and it's complex and it's quite gnarly. But you've made progress and you're doing things that are starting to make an impact now. So what are your top tips for anyone who is beginning to look at becoming skills based?
Yeah, so I think, as I said, very much position this as a strategic enabler, not just a talent process. So ensure that you're really clear in terms of those strategic drivers so that you
Mhm.
do have that executive sponsorship. And as part of that, we have set up a, a, a board of people. So yes, we've got an executive sponsor, but we've also got people from across the business. So it's not just a people. We call our HR team our people function. It's not just a people function initiative. It is a genuinely strategic and owned across the business.
Mhm.
I think also just be open to thinking in a really different way, because this is rethinking the world of work. It's not just rethinking talent management.
Love that. I got goosebumps then when you said that. You're so right. It is. That's how I feel. It is really rethinking.
It is. And once again, we didn't go in with that understanding. We have uncovered and discovered that together and sort of nudged each other along and challenged each other as we've been working on this. So, that shift from thinking about work, the units of work being jobs,
Mm.
to thinking that the units of work are maybe skills,
Mhm.
that opens up so many possibilities in terms of how we organize our organizations, how
Yeah.
we think about work, how we match people to those different opportunities and respond to the different business needs. So there's huge possibilities. So really be open to those, because that's the exciting piece. And I think also just do think from a people and individual experience and career opportunity perspective, as well as that strategic perspective, because it's easy to start to build these incredible, amazing skills taxonomies. But if people
Mm.
aren't interested and engaged in it, then they're not going to be useful, and
Yeah.
they're not going to give us what we want in terms of that organizational picture, and they're not going to make a difference to people's lives and people's careers.
Mhm. Amazing. Thank you. And I think the thing that I've noticed when I've been privileged enough to be in with you and your team, I've seen like live in action, this sense of like pausing, and reflecting on perhaps a decision that had been made or an assumption that had been made, like real life agility, like in action. And I think that is also really key, isn't it? And you said that you remain open-minded and curious, and that you will inevitably probably change direction a few times. Yeah.
I'm sure we will continue to do that, but that's why it's such exciting work.
Oh, well, thank you, Sarah, so much for sharing your story so far and those tips. And really excited and looking forward to what the next year holds for you and the team and the impact that it has on Laing O'Rourke, which is an incredible organisation doing transformational work and buildings and all sorts out there, out in the world. So I'm excited for the people that work at Laing O'Rourke and the people that, enjoy the goods of Laing O'Rourke out there. So exciting times ahead. Thank you very, very much. If anyone wants to hear from Sarah, Sarah, I know, is always open to connecting, for chatting. So Sarah's linked in the post. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. Bye, everybody.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you. Bye.